Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. How you doing? I hope everybody's having a good time. Yes, I do. Alright, so I like zero tick farms. Actually, I happen to very much like them. So they allow me to do, to basically go about my day doing things that I otherwise wouldn't do, because, it's a lot of work. And I like the zero tick farms. I like them. They free up my process of doing other stuff, is what it comes down to. So I'm here to talk about my discovery of this zero tick farm, and I want to present it to you in a way that is understandable. So I'm going to show you the old way, and then I'm going to show you several examples of what we can do with it, as well as one example of the more complicated build, and then we'll build one. So let's go ahead and start off with the original and how it works. I want to say credit where credit is due. I am not some kind of great genius or anything figuring this stuff out. I wouldn't even be doing this if it weren't for creators like Ilmango, Mumbo Jumbo, Eagle Eyes, and a few others. So, credit where credit is due. Those guys not only taught me everything I know through their videos, as well as, inspired me to just, hey, this stuff is fun, let's do it. So, yeah. Now that that's done, let's get... Let's get going on. I just want to make sure, because honestly, credit where credit is due, right? They deserve it. They deserve to know. They deserve the credit. So, this is the original zero tick farm. I don't know who invented it. I don't know, the original creator. I know that it's fairly popular at this point. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody like Ilmango invented the thing, because, I mean, that guy is the genius that comes up with all kinds of stuff. So, it could be, or not. I don't know. But let's talk about how it works. The reason I like the zero tick farm, and actually I call this thing, so I like to call this style of zero tick farm a shifty sand farm. I think it makes sense because Eagle Eye created what's called the shaky sand. And he created a very stable and really good shaky sand, a really good and tileable shaky sand system. Personally, I think it's still a little too finicky for my taste. I tend to not turn my farms off when I leave, when I leave the game. So when chunks get unloaded and loaded, shaky sand can tend to break. Whereas shifty sand really doesn't nearly as much. It's a lot more stable. So that being said, I like to call it shifty sand. I think more popularly it's just referred to as a zero tick farm, but whatever. So I call it shifty sand, and I call it shifty sand because essentially what's happening is these blocks of sand are getting shifted back and forth, is what it amounts to. And what makes this thing work so well is this operation right here. When I turn that on, these torches are going to be lit. Well, these torches hard power the block above them. Well, when the block above them is hard powered, that block then soft powers this redstone. When this redstone gets soft powered, it provides an update to this here block and the block below it, which triggers these pistons, right? Primarily this piston. So when this sand gets shifted back, the block that gets moved into this space completes a circuit all the way from this torch through the block, through the redstone, through the block, and through the piston, triggering the piston to push it back. Now, because this is a self-timed process, and when I say self-timed process, I mean this isn't going to be triggered until these blocks are over. Well, once these blocks are over, then that piston is untriggered and won't be triggered until the blocks are pushed back. So there's no way for these two pistons to be triggered at the same time with this setup. So that's what I mean by self-timed. Here's the trick. this setup also requires these extra pistons just to update this piston, causing the zero tick function. The zero tick function being that piston extends and retracts in less than 1 tick, causing it to spit the block. Otherwise, if this just does a normal tick, then it will push the block out and then pull it back and the whole system will not work. So these pistons cause this piston to update and 1 tick or 0 tick, which spits the block out and then allows this whole thing to function in the first place. So that's 6 pistons. And this is how it works. I have my volume turned down, so hopefully this isn't too loud on the video. So this is the function of it. And you can see all 4 pistons are, all 4 zero tick pistons are there, so I would have to leave all 4 pistons there for this to work. Now, this can also be tricky. These pistons cannot face, I believe it's north, let's see, east. Oh, never eat soggy wheat, so north. These here pistons cannot face north. If they face north, they won't work correctly and the whole system will just be a brick. So that's a thing. Alright, that's the original. So that's the original zero tick design. It works really well, but the downside to it is there's a lot of pistons and a lot of stuff that goes into just one plant growing, like one stalk growing, and then the harvest mechanism requires a whole nother piston and observer and everything. You know, it's kind of resource heavy and it's kind of space heavy, but that never stopped me from using it. But it is kind of a clunker, so that's a thing. Anyhow, that's the original design. This is my new design. Now this design, so in this design, you only get 1 block to grow on. I'm just going to put a cactus here to demonstrate. This is the only block that you can grow on, and when you zero tick, then it grows. So it's just 1 block doing the job here. So that's kind of a thing. Now, what I've got going on here is 6 blocks. I want to call it tileable. I'm actually going to call it stackable. And you'll notice all of it's on 1 trigger. And you'll also notice a lack of the update pistons. These pistons that are above and below. So these are the pistons pushing the sand. Right there. And I don't have any pistons above or below these pistons. You probably noticed that. Well, it still works anyhow. Yeah, so let's go ahead and turn it on, and then I'll walk up there and show you. So, turn the mechanism on. So you can see from here that it is genuinely doing the zero tick function. You can see the torches down there and the cam mechanism, the self-timing mechanism functions all the same. And we have our harvest pistons over here, and we are collecting goods. Tea. Over here we have bamboo. And I did run this a little bit, but you can see it's stacking up quick. Like the bamboo grows like a weed. Now, I will admit, I was going to do kelp over here, because I heard kelp could now be zero tick, but it turns out this gets interesting. So check this out. All right, so I'm just going to step up here, right? So it turns out that in 1.16 snapshot, one of the early snapshots of 1.16, they changed something that allowed you to zero tick kelp. However, in the most recent update, the most recent snapshot of 1.16. They completely nerfed the entire zero tick farm in general. So it's like, wait, what? Like, what are you guys doing? Seriously. Like, at first you make it better. Like, oh cool, now we can zero tick kelp. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't need those clonkers right behind me. So it's like, well, that would be awesome. But then they nerfed it. It's like, oh, for God's sakes, whatever. That being said, the server, I think they call it Paper. The server version of Minecraft, I believe, is called Paper. They already nerfed the zero tick farms in that environment. However, they added a, what do you call it, a zero tick fix. So there's a command line that you can add. You know what, look, this is kind of noisy. Let's turn this off, because it is kind of noisy. So there's a command line that you can add in the Paper thing that allows you to disable the zero tick fix. And supposedly that's also going to be a thing in the 1.16 Java issue. So if you do like me, if you do like the zero tick farms, you will be able to still use them. You're just going to have to write a script that disables the zero tick fix. So that is a thing. So for everybody out there that's all like, oh, zero tick is gone for... No, it's not. But you know, when that actually comes out, I'm sure Ilmango and Eagle Eyes and Mumbo and all of them will be all over it much sooner than I will, for sure. I'm sure of it. But yeah, so zero tick isn't going away. It's just going to be more selective, I guess. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyhow, I'll get off my soapbox now, okay? Yeah, so this is the thing. So that's why this is over here. I tried doing the kelp, but it turns out it's a 1.16 thing, and it's even a funky 1.16 thing. I'm in 1.15, survival world, by the way. I only play in survival, so all of this is done in survival. All the resource gathering, all of this that you see is done in survival. Hence, it's night out, right? So anyhow, yeah. That being said, so yeah, 1.15 can't do the zero tick kelp, so that was kind of sad. But bamboo and sugarcane, and you might be asking, where's the cactus? So I guess I should say the cactus. All right, the cactus didn't work quite as well in this mechanism, mostly because by the time you harvest the cactus, you need a hopper minecart to gather, like to actually snatch the cactus block before the cactus destroys itself, right? So like over there, those cactus are growing on top of a hopper minecart, and that hopper minecart snatches up the entity before the cactus destroys the entity. I was able to do that with this zero tick farm, but in order to do that, I had to have hoppers underneath of it, and then those torches are next to the hoppers, which locks the hoppers. So it's like, you bastards. So I got it to work, but I did not get the distribution system to work. So it's like, man. So I got to work on that a little bit yet, figure that one out. Maybe we'll get there eventually, but for now, we definitely have the sugarcane and bamboo. Alright, so let's talk about that. This is like three. These are side by side, right? And I call them stackable. So this module can stack next to this module, can stack next to this module. But what do they look like just one module? This. So this is just one module, right? It's this is actually the more complicated version of the module. This is the sugarcane version. The reason I have the glass here is because I wanted to demonstrate how this sugarcane system is actually working. In order to grow sugarcane, you have to have a water block next to the sand. Well, in order to do that and still have the redstone exist around there, I created a waterfall that runs from that block and then just runs right down into that pocket. And so as the waterfall runs into the pocket, it just says, all right, fine, we're good being here, and we're not going to bother anything else. The sand still sees the water, so the plant still gets to grow next to it. So that's the idea with that. And honestly, that's the only thing that makes this more complicated, is that you have to have the water channels on either side. And as you can see, I have it over here the same way, so that I wanted to show you that yes, even though that water's there, it can still be a stackable module. For example, if I want to do sugarcane on this side, I could, but I've got bamboo on that side just to demonstrate it. So this is the individual module, right? And this is as small as it gets. You have to have at least these 2 slices in order for this to work. And if you notice, what I have going on here is the original zero-tick timing mechanism sideways. So that block that block is right there. That's that block. And these blocks are right behind there, right there. And then you've got the push pistons, one there and one on the other side. That's these pistons here. So this is basically 2 of these side by side. And the greatest part is that works, and you don't need those update pistons. The push pistons update themselves at that point. So show this one working, just to prove my point. You can see it does the zero-tick thing, and everything's running correctly, right? We open the hopper, you'll see we start getting some sugarcane in there. So that's how it's done. Pretty simple. It's not complicated. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, how do we build this? All right, it's really easy. It's honestly really easy. These are the things you need, and actually, no, I will be right back. I forgot the torches, and I forgot so I forgot the torches and relays. So I gotta go make those. This is what you need. This is what you need to build this farm. Not as many of this, but this is pretty much what you need. As well as some type of switch. Whether you're using a lever, or actually probably what I'm going to do is just make another torch, just because it's that easy. Like torches are so underrated. Okay, so this is what you need to build this. Okay, and that includes the harvest system. If you're using that includes the harvest system here. All right, this is what you need. I'm using the spruce planks for everything, for basically the base. I'm using the smooth stone for everything that gets redstone powered, every powered block. And then of course you need the sand to grow shit on. You need the pistons to push pull, and then the harvest pistons, you need the observer for the harvest mechanism. So this is your redstone stuff here. Obviously you need some redstone. The torches, they do, the timing mechanism. So really this is just filler base material, power material, growing material, the redstone material, and down here, this is what you're going to be planting. If you're using bamboo, then that is the simplest, and that's what we're actually going to build right now. But if you're using sugarcane or kelp, depending on you know, if you're in 116, you can use the kelp. Then you're going to need the buckets of water as well. And then we're also going to use the hoppers for distribution. And distribution referring to how we get the stuff out away from the farm. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all this stuff. This, and this. And we're going to build it right here. Yep, we're going to build it right here. Alright, it's really easy. First you start off with 2 U shapes. And they can be back to back. I am going to put this right here. I want to be over as far as I can. So that goes up 2, 1, 2, 3, and then up 2. And then you're going to step over. I'm going to have to knock the corner off of this thing so that it doesn't get in the way. Then you go over 2, 1, 2, and then do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so you end up with 2 U shapes like that. Now, the first power blocks you want are not in the center, they're just off of the center by 1. Now you're going to take your torches. Now mind you, this is how so let me get here. This is how I decided to turn the mechanism on and off. This is not necessarily how you have to do it. You could simply, essentially, well, I'll show you. What you really do need to do in order for this to be stable is actually this block right here. To turn the mechanism off, you have to power these 2 blocks. I am doing that through the inverse of torches underneath the block, which power the block, and you'll notice when I put the torches on that they turn off. And that's because these blocks are powered by the torches beneath. And then when I power these blocks, it will turn that off. It will turn that mechanism off. Alright. 2 repeaters into these blocks to power these blocks, which turns those torches off and allows this thing to turn on. This right here is the on-off mechanism. This is the actual core of how the piece works in the first place. Alright, so block, 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 block. Alright? These are all powered blocks. Take our push pistons. Oh, why did I do that? I don't know. Push pistons on either side. Okay. Sand. Do, and do. Now, since our torches are unpowered, we can drop the redstone dust without this thing turning on, so that's fine. Now, I am going to bring this dust up here, and this is for the harvest mechanism. This is going to give the observer something to work off of. So that's why I'm doing that. So bring one of these sides up for the harvest mechanism, and you will see why. Now, this is your 0 tick mechanism. Right here. We're done. The mechanism itself is only 2 blocks tall, and it's only 4 blocks wide. 2 blocks tall, 4 blocks wide. So literally, if you built this without the on-off mechanism, or you see, here's the thing, you can power this block, or you can power this block. So if you power this block from the edge, this whole thing fits in a 2 block high space. I just find this the most convenient. To be honest with you, I find this the most convenient. But there are other ways of doing it. So, whatever you guys decide on that. Now, if I put my torch down here, it'll fire up. There it is. That's your 0 tick pulse right there. Right? There it is. Nothing special. I mean, this is it. So, here's where we're saving. We don't have those pistons. Okay? We don't. And that saves us resources galore. Okay? And it also saves us lag. It's a whole lot. So, not having those update pistons saves us a lot. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back off and add the harvest mechanism. Harvest mechanism is actually pretty simple. We go out like that, and I'm going to put this right there, and I'm going to take my harvest pistons right there. Okay. Then I'm going to come over with oh, I need more smooth stone. Apparently, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to come behind with the smooth stone because these are powered blocks, okay? And here is where we get this. Observer, and then run a line right across. On that one, you'll actually notice, if we go look at it, I've got the entire harvest mechanism off of one observer. And that works just fine. So that's your harvest mechanism. Now I'm going to go ahead and plant the bamboo. And as always, this doesn't work. It has to be that. So you have to make it the 2 wide. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the chest because, you know, why not? But you guys are more than welcome to figure out the delivery. Like if you wanted to say shift click, and oh, the bamboo's not going to let me. Shift click. So if you wanted to take these into droppers, or if you wanted to run hoppers the entire way to wherever you need to be, or you want to run them into droppers and run a water stream the entire way, you can also power the droppers off the same timing mechanism. So you can put an observer, you know, do the redstone here, put an observer and drive, you know, the hoppers, the droppers, if you wanted to. But, you know, it's a thing. So this is it. This is the basic frame it off how you want. This is the basic version of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our torch down here. And there it is. Growing stuff all over the place. Go on this side. See that? That's your 0 tick farming. It's that simple. It really is. And it's also very reliable. When these things unload and load chunks, and you'll also notice, if I may point out, those pistons are facing north. So this is oriented the other way from this. So I can run them at the same time. And they work. So orientation doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I cut the... yeah, I took... I broke that one. Oh well. So yeah, orientation doesn't matter. It's simple. It's effective. You get 2 tiles out of it instead of 1. I think this thing works great. And all right, let's turn it off. I was kind of worried about that. All right, turn this off. Okay. You guys want to see it in actual use? So you got the original design 0 tick farm here. You can see the uses and how far this is expandable. I mean, you can make this as long as you want. And then, you know, we just built one to show you how easy it is to build this thing. So now let's go see one that's actually getting used. It's in place and it gets used. I've been using it for a while. So let's go check it out. It is the fuel supply for my experience farm, and I think you might just end up liking it. I'm going to turn this off because I don't feel like listening to it. Here it is. You can see. There you go. That's that side. And this side. Looks like the system's getting backed up. Yeah, it's, trust me, distribution becomes very important. Yeah, this thing's doing all it can to squirt out as much, and it is slammed. I might as well go turn this off. It's just more than... So I do need to create a on-off switch that goes down to it, but for now, this is what I got. And while I'm down here to show you, this is the entire package. I've got 4 tiles or four slices of zero-tick bamboo going on here, right? There's the timing mechanism for harvesting, and it's all in this package. So this is what? This is 3, 6, 7 wide, 4 tall, and 5 deep. That's the entire package. That's the entire zero-tick package right there. And I just happen to have it framed off when I... So to point this out, in the other videos I pointed this out. This room, I made this room to house the mechanism using the old style zero-tick with 4, that also had 4 stalks. Like, this takes up significantly less space. And personally, I think it also has significantly less lag as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that. I like using the trapdoors here because you can actually see, without having to open it up, you can see when one of these tiles is not functioning, because, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe it kicked a chute or something, but either way, it works. It's fine. So that's the thing. So there you go, guys. This this is my zero-tick design. It's expandable. It's actually very easy to expand. It's very easy to use. It's very compact. At least I think it's compact. You know, it works with all the usual zero-tick stuff. In fact, you could probably... There might even be a way to attach... I might have to try that, to attach the whole cactus thing to it. I tried doing the cactus. I really did. I have to put a lot more thought into how to deliver the cactus. Also, the cactus can't be next to each other like these things are stacked one next to the other. And cactus don't do that, so that kind of sucks. But... You know, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, this is interesting to say the least. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I tried putting a lot more professionalism into this video and showing you the different ways it can be used, and you know what you want to do with it. As soon as 1.16 comes out, and you know we got all the patches and stuff figured out, then you'll be able to do this with kelp as well. But you know, until then, on 1.15, kelp does not work. So that's kind of a bummer. And also like to point out, I did already, but I'll point out again. On 1.16, if you're going to run zero-tick in 1.16, then you're going to have to use the script-based patch, and it's called the. I'm pretty sure it's called the zero-tick fix disable, and literally in the paper edition, which is for servers, you literally just type the script in. It's a zero-tick fix true or false, and you just set it to false, and then it doesn't nerf the zero-tick farms anymore. So you know, that's a thing. I really honestly don't think it's going to be that as big of a deal as I originally thought. So, you know, we'll see. Either way, I hope you guys really like this. I'm really having a lot of fun with this. It's really late right now, but I just couldn't stop myself. I really appreciate you guys watching. I do. This is gonna be. I'm putting. I'm slowing down on this now. Okay, I get it. I have beat this horse. It's dead. Okay. So I promise, no more Zero Tick Farm videos for at least the next, you know, couple videos. Right? Anyhow, yeah, thank you very much, guys. I very much appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. You know, hit the bell icon and throw a like on the video and all the good stuff that goes with it. We very much appreciate that, and it helps the channel a lot. It really does. So, you know, I guess have a good night, or a good morning, or a good day, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.